What if the trading journal you're using right now is keeping you stuck without you realizing it? Well, I put Tradezella and Edgewonk head to head to find out which one actually helps you grow as a trader. And by the end of this video, you'll know which one gives you the edge and which one might just be wasting your time. And rather than getting pulled in just by their promises, I wanted to see what these platforms actually do. Because at the end of the day, the features are what separate the flashy tools that do nothing from those that actually help you grow as a trader and are useful. All right, let's dive right in. So I signed up for both platforms and put them head to head as a test, tracking trades, exploring tools, and pushing each feature to see how they really perform in the real world. Now, I'll be honest, this is where I started getting excited about Tradezella. The platform isn't just about logging trades, it's about helping you understand why they worked or maybe why they didn't work. It's the why that really matters here. It's how you help grow your strategy. First, the trading analytics are unreal. I've used a bunch of journals over the years, some with graphs, some with tables, but with Tradezella, you'll instantly spot patterns, like whether you trade better in the mornings or crash after lunch losses. Like, do your morning trades outperform your afternoon ones? Are you worse on Mondays after a losing Friday? It forces you to think like a data analyst, but without the need for a spreadsheet PhD. Then there's the trade replay feature. This one's gold. You can literally go back and rewatch your trades play out as if they're happening in real time. So when I tried this, I realized just how many good entries that I bailed on too early. Watching myself panic sell a trade that ended up just working perfectly in the end, yeah, that hit different. But maybe the most surprising part was the Zella score. So the Zella score is kind of like having a performance coach grading you, right? It takes into account your risk management, your consistency, and your setup quality. Then it gives you a composite score that you can track over time. It actually made me want to improve as a trader just to see that number climb and become more consistent and strategic with my moves. Also, I can't skip the in backtesting journaling. This one blew me away. You can now log notes while you backtest. No more juggling between a notepad and charts. Everything's just tracked inside the same interface. It's seamless and it saves time, which means that you can actually stick to it and keep using it without keeping track of multiple things. Now, how does that compare to Edgewonk? Well, Edgewonk Trading Journal is not bad. In fact, if you're looking for a cost-effective option with unlimited journal creation, it's probably the best out there. They've got a solid equity graph feature that lets you visualize your cumulative performance. It's basic, but it's functional, and it gives you an idea of what's going on. And their backtester lets you simulate strategies based on your past trades, which is nice if you're tweaking rules or experimenting. Where Edgewonk really stands out, though, is for traders who need to track multiple accounts or want to run several test journals at once. But here's the trade-off there. Tradezella ends up just feeling more modern, more intuitive, and more complete for the trader who's really serious about analyzing the performance to actually get better over time. So if you're big on UI, ease of use, and in-depth analytics, Tradezella is going to feel more like the major upgrade. But all right, let's actually talk downsides then. Because yeah, even the best tools will have them. And with Tradezella, the biggest gripe that I've run into personally is that it's so loaded with features, it can be a little overwhelming to use at first. My first week on the platform, I wasn't even using half of what it offered. But here's what happened. The more trades I logged, the more I started exploring. Within 2 weeks, I was analyzing my data in ways that I hadn't done in years. So yeah, there is a bit of a learning curve, but I think it really pays off fast. And as for Edgewonk, its biggest downside is honestly the interface. It just feels like clunky, like something built 10 years ago. I mean, it does work, but if you're used to clean drag and drop models and the tools that are more mobile-first designed, it might feel like a bit of a shock. That said, if you're the kind of trader who doesn't really care about looks and you just want the raw data tracking with flexibility, then you probably won't mind it at all. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Real user experience often reveals what no feature list can. So after testing both of these platforms myself, I went looking for what other traders had to say about it and about their experiences. And that's really where the rabbit hole began for me. I didn't want just the features, I wanted their experiences. I wanted to know what real traders actually encountered after putting these training journal platforms to work with real tests and different scenarios. So I dug deep into Tradezella reviews and Edgewonk reviews alike, blog threads, Reddit comments, anything I could find. And as usual, the one-star reviews were kind of the most revealing, not because they paint the whole picture, but because they show what happens when things don't necessarily go as planned or not as the user would have preferred. Let's start with Tradezella. So this one user said that Tradezella trading journal keeps lagging and looks like a bad beta version of a software. Now, I'll be honest, that would have scared me off too if I'd seen that kind of review first. But in all fairness, I haven't experienced that kind of lag personally, and based on my digging, that type of complaint does seem to be the outlier, not the norm, among complaints too. So even so, it raised an eyebrow, just something to keep in mind. But then I actually looked at the bigger picture of all this. Tradezella is sitting at a 4.7 stars out of 5, with hundreds of active traders praising the tool's depth and the support team's responsiveness in the comments. One trader who's been trading for over 10 years said that Tradezella's actually moved the needle for her, like just in general, and that's saying something. According to her, it helped her double down on her best setups, and for the first time in a while, she felt like the data that she was collecting actually sharpened her edge and she saw results from it. That kind of Tradezella review and feedback doesn't come from surface level tools. Another user said that he tried multiple trading journals, but Tradezella was the one that finally gave him clarity. He raved about the built-in backtesting features and how the platform helped him gain some real transparency into his strategy. He even called it his journal of choice. Okay, cool. That's not exactly language that you'll use for something that's like barely working for you or that you have a lot of complaints about. So, I mean, overall, Tradezella's reviews are overwhelmingly positive, with most traders saying that it helped them analyze their trades more effectively and improve faster. On the other hand, the experience with Edgewonk was maybe a little more mixed. So I went through all those reviews, same as the other one, and I came across this review. So here was one Edgewonk review from a user who seemed pretty let down, actually. He said it seemed like a good journal at first, but pointed out a few frustrating quirks, like how uploading trades while they're still open can cause issues, and how his winning days were showing up red instead of green. And the deal breaker for this person is that you have to pay for the full year upfront for the service. And yeah, I get that. That definitely can sting, especially if you're still unsure whether or not it's the right fit for you. And compared to Tradezella, which felt like it had more of a polished and a responsive platform, Edgewonk came off as a bit more rigid in that area. But to be fair, not everyone's had that experience, right? This is just one reviewer. I saw a couple others, but another user said that joining Edgewonk helped him become more disciplined in his entries and that he was learning a lot about trade management. Edgewonk gets mixed reviews, solid on functionality, but some users find it clunky or hard to trust upfront due to the pricing model. But bottom line, from what I've seen and what a lot of other traders are saying, Tradezella does seem to be the better fit if you're looking for powerful analytics, smoother performance, and consistent updates. But that said, Edgewonk might still be a solid choice for traders who want a more cost-effective option and who plan to run multiple test journals or track multiple accounts. But okay, it's finally time to talk about money. This is usually where people make their final decision, right? It's how much the programs actually cost and how that works. So here's what I found comparing Tradezella and Edgewonk's pricing. Tradezella is definitely positioned as a premium platform. It's not the cheapest journal out there, but honestly, for what you get, it's reasonably priced, especially if you're actually going to use the backtesting and analytics consistently. Edgewonk's price point is clearly aimed at being more accessible, with unlimited journal creation and a money-back guarantee. It's a strong pick if you're just starting out or you want something simple that covers the basics well. But if you want features that make you actually look forward to analyzing your trades, I think Tradezella justifies the cost. But if you want to check it out, check the links in the video description for the most updated pricing and whatever discounts might be live. We try to keep those current and updated so you don't miss out on any deals. So here's the quick recap, right? If you want fast feedback, deep analytics, and a tool that makes trade review feel productive, not painful, Tradezella is the clear winner for me. If you're on a tighter budget or running multiple journals, Edgewonk still gets the job done. But either way, check that link in the description. We've lined up the best discounts we could find so you can get started smarter.